Hi everyone. We decided to do a special on Mother's Day.
Yes.
Because it's coming up in a couple of days.
Yes.
So
Happy Mother's Day to you too in
happy Mother's
advance.
Day to you in advance as well.
A mother of one son each.
Same. Mother of one son.
How does it
each.
feel?
How does it feel to be a mom? I am so happy that I've gotten the chance to experience this, and honestly, because it wasn't the simplest journey for me to become a mom. I think I've touched upon it, or I'm not sure.
Do you
if
want
I
to talk
have.
about it?
Huh?
Do you want to talk about it?
Ooh, about how difficult it was to conceive.
All of it.
Yeah, I will talk about it. Should I talk about it right now? Okay. So guys, not everybody knows. So anyways, I have endometriosis, right? So that can make that can have an adverse effect on your fertility. It can make conceiving hard. I remember before I was married, I went to the gynecologist. That's when I was getting these pangs in my, like, I guess, uterus area, and we discovered that it was these cysts, which is endometriosis. And the woman grabbed me and she's like, "Bacche, you have to have kids. You have to have kids." And I was like, "मेरी तो अभी शादी भी नहीं हुई है. Kids कह रही थी. It'll be so hard to conceive later." ये भी फिर pressure होता है, I guess. हम pressure पे बात कर रहे थे कि pressure to be mom. ये South Asian. We were talking about it in another episode. I remember. कि especially in our part of the world, ये क्यों है कि फौरन शादी और फिर फौरन आप माँ बन जाए. But I guess one valid or concerning reason could be that your fertility, obviously age, but also things like endometriosis, polycystic ovaries, these kinds of things can make it difficult to be a mom. So I have that. So then trying to having a baby was harder for me. Getting pregnant was harder. I also had low ovarian reserve, and I'm not fully sure if the two. I think the two are connected. Anyway, so that journey was difficult. I did 2 IVFs. They both failed. Then I'm not even super religious, though. I mean, Islam is my religion. I do consider myself a Muslim. I completely believe in Allah, and I think it's a beautiful religion. But I'm not super religious and practicing. I'll be very honest. But Faris, actually, my husband wanted to go for Umrah. And he said, he was like, let's go for Umrah, let's just pray to God. What else can we do? हमने IVS भी कर लिए, though they didn't work. Let's just... Hajra, I had tried for 3 years. I'd done 2 IVS. I went for Umrah. Right after that, I got pregnant, and I was like, wow. And sure, it probably also was the way I felt at Umrah, because I fully embraced Umrah. So I went there. I learned everything I needed to go and do it properly. We did the Umrah properly. We went to Medina also. I was very relaxed. And when your body is not stressed, science and medicine will also say that stress can cause infertility. It can cause troubles with... Stress is the biggest problem, वो जड़ है हर चीज, हर problem की. So being like this, and I'm needle phobic, तो वो तो वैसे it was not going to work. I was like, how is it going to work when my body is like this? It is not open for having babies. So so I think the way I felt over there in Medina and Makkah, and the way I kind of just really embraced the whole experience, that had a lot to do with it. And of course, Allah me, I just said, listen girl, get in line. And I don't know, it was just it still gives me chills how it just happened right after that.
Mashallah, yeah.
But how does it feel being a mom? How is our age? How's you tell me.
We haven't finished. Your pregnancy was
I
not
didn't
easy.
finish the whole bumpy pregnancy thing. And then when I did get pregnant in the first trimester, I had 2 near miscarriages, and then after that I was told to be on bed rest. Then Aiden came, oh gosh, 2 months early, like at 31 and a half weeks. That's quite early.
Yeah.
And it was an emergency C-section. I was rushed. All sorts of things happened. Oh God. But this is a Mother's Day episode, and this is probably going to make people maybe be like, oh, maybe I don't really want to be a
But
mom.
people are there watching, and they will be people who relate to this.
Okay. So I remember, oh my God, the way Aiden came also. The amniotic fluid, which is your child's sort of environment, that's the oxygen that they're breathing, that's their ecosystem that they are living in. started like sort of leaking, but not वो जो water break नहीं होता है एकदम से जैसे फिल्मों में होता है, my water is broken, we need to rush to the hospital, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. It was a very sneaky kind of drip which the doctors weren't even catching. And then I was going every day, and I was more worried than the doctors. Actually, I think I should have sued that doctor of mine. Really, he was quite rubbish. He wasn't that, he wasn't looking at me closely, and I was like, I was shrinking because the fluid.
Gosh.
And I actually, that's a whole other thing, man. Anyway, so one fine day they were like, you don't have much liquid, you need to go into an emergency C-section, you'll need these injections for the baby's lung, the baby's brain, the baby's this needs to develop, that needs to develop, because it's not even 32 weeks. I remember they gave me this drip which they had to empty the pouch in like minutes, when
Oh
it
my.
takes actually like it takes a long time for those, but when they do it that fast, it's like you're burning. So from the inside, so the worst thing about my pregnancy and having birth, or my whole journey till today, was that drip. The way they emptied it to me, तो लग रहा था कि अंदर से मैं जल रही हूँ. And I remember screaming at Faris and being like, I don't want this baby. I want to die. I want everything to die. I don't want to live that, because
Oh
you
my
feel like
God.
you're burning.
Oh my God.
That was horrible. वो जो उन्होंने drip जल्दी से empty किया था in me. Oh my God. That was the hardest. One the C-section was easy. Fars for jazz music, you don't feel it. The C-section was like everybody, up. You're nicely on a lot of drugs. And baby came. He was so small because he was only 31 and a half weeks, and then we didn't really get to hold him. Obviously, they take them, he went straight to ICU, and he was in special care for 40 days. And then the worst still hadn't happened. Uske baad, because I guess, and maybe a lot of people must have had, premature babies in ICU for that long. And, you're stressed. Every day you're getting a call from the hospital. And you find your child's vitals, and you don't even know, like, are they going to make it? Are they not going to make it? What's going on with them? Are they responding to the care well? So that, just you can imagine how stressful that would be. So if you're not sleeping, you're stressed about that child. Even the people in the ward, when you go there, they're kind of pressuring you to produce milk and do, all these things, which you're not able to also sometimes, because those last 2 months are, I think, also important for the woman's, production of that.
Yeah.
And I remember like this one lady was like pushing me so much, and I was like, nothing's happening. I don't have it. And she's like, no, you just got to do it. And I was like, oh, I'm going crazy. And like, they were just being a bit pushy. And then she was like, just drink a lot of water before you sleep. I was like, I'm not sleeping as it is. She's like, बहुत सारा पानी पियो ताकि your bladder wakes you up, ताकि you just keep every 3 hours trying to like squeeze yourself or whatever to produce. Wo bhi pressure, but then feeling that you're failing at that. So all of that combination, for 2 days, I went totally bonkers. I had lost touch with reality. I started hallucinating.
My.
I literally, when I was going down and up in the lift for a break up, you have to get a sandwich or whatever, because you're there from morning to night, and then you have to go home. You can't stay there. Obviously in ICU overnight. They only have certain rooms, and not, you can't stay at the hospital. Aur ghar itna bhi dur nahi tha, it was like 20 minutes away. So I became paranoid. I thought log mujhe follow kar rahe hain. I thought people were following me. Like when I would go in, I was like, Faris, that man is following me. So I took the stairs. I was like, I don't want to be alone in the lift with him. He's going to do something to me in the lift. Like random people, strangers. I thought that the nurses were all stealing the the milk that I had produced, because one nurse made a mistake. She left it outside of the fridge. It went bad, and she did kind of, she got a bit scared, and I think might have tried to cover it up. So that spun me off into a spiral. I thought high level espionage ho raha hai. The nurses are stealing milk and selling them. Full story banali. I went to the security room of
And you wanted the CCTV and all of that.
I went to the security room of St. Mary's,
Yeah.
where they have all the cameras of the hospital, and I said, CCTV nikale, take it out, because these nurses have this big racket going on. And they were like, ma'am, and Faris is like sitting over there. Now when I remember his expressions, he was just like looking at me, ki meri wife pagal ho gayi hai isko to. And literally I was like, CCTV nikale,
I wonder
lawyers
why
bulaye.
you also went through that. Was it like, what is medication? What was it? What was it?
Yeah, so it was a mix of many things.
Huh.
Because I was in private, well, I had private, or I mean, when you have a C-section, you do get obviously those drugs.
Yeah.
There was fentanyl as well. I remember it was one of the components. And because I was in a room, in a private room for 5 nights, I had this button where I could ask to be topped up. Now, obviously, they have their regulations. They can not give you more drugs than वो morphine, codeine और fent पता नहीं जो भी था उनके drugs में I was on those for a good 3-4 days, 5 days.
Maybe.
And
got to your
that
head.
वो जब drugs उतरते हैं, you see you're high. I remember first 4-5 days I was high as a kite. Tea party हो रही थी, Aiden's in ICU, but I'm like hoo hoo ha because I'm high on drugs, painkiller drugs.
Oh God.
And I'm feeling invincible. When that starts wearing off, and you're on your own medication, normal, they send you home with something strong. वो उतर रहा है, then your hormonal changes. You know, some women get your baby blues or
Yeah.
postpartum. क्या होता है? It's
Yeah.
like your hormones. Some women don't go helter skelter as much as other women and other. So it must have been a combination of the drugs wearing off, the hormone changes, the stress of Aiden in ICU, the lack of sleep. All of these elements are great recipe for hallucinating and thinking you're in a completely different alternate reality is happening. There's films on this. A Beautiful Mind में I think Russell Crowe loses his mind and he thinks कुछ और हो रहा है जिंदगी में. But his is for, and then there's a film called Tully with Charlize Theron where it shows a mom because she's so stressed and she's
I watched it.
postpartum.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can watch it if you haven't, and it's
Yeah,
a great film.
yeah.
And only later do you find out that this is an alternative reality that she's visualizing. That's actually not happening, but that can happen. And it can be quite deadly. And you know, it also like impacted our relationship because for a while Faris was like, is she? And it takes a toll on everybody. It took a toll on us. It's taken. I think that's when I was like, I don't know if I want to have another child because what if this happens again? Of course it might not, but also I'm older and मुझे तो अभी भी like थोड़ा सा PTSD है कि I don't want to go through what I went through. But mashallah, Aiden is like the cutest, sweetest, like gift from God, but what I went through, I'm not sure if and I'm sorry, this is meant to be a Mother's Day episode, not an Annie's crazy experience
But
episode.
it's not easy being a mother, right? That's what it is. It's not easy for everybody.
Even
या तो
before,
या
yeah.
तो
The
before
journey
being a mother,
before.
या तो after being a mother.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always a smooth ride completely. So I'm so happy that you were okay to share it, right? Because there will be moms out there or women out there who might have health issues and they are struggling. But you know, Alhamdulillah, there was light in Allah's house and you were blessed with a beautiful boy. And here you are. He's such a delight. We use all his colors in his papers when we come here. He doesn't
Yeah.
even know. But being a mom is a beautiful thing. Alhamdulillah, I didn't have anything and didn't have a difficult pregnancy. It was really just a smooth pregnancy.
एक चीज बोल दूं, he stayed in her for 42 days, 42 weeks.
हाँ,
वो
42
difficult
weeks.
ताकि
बस
निकलो.
हाँ, निकल जाओ बस ना तुम. The only thing which I've touched based on is I became so huge and I think the weight was a thing and now I can laugh about it. But he was such a little bundle of joy having him. He was such a, fat little baby that my only journey with him, and alhamdulillah he's 10 now,
Wow.
the struggle and the most scariest part of him was his circumcision. Because he was a fat little baby. I couldn't get it done and we were getting him checked कि हम अब करा लें आपको. So by
What
birth,
age did
but
you?
by birth normally it's good.
Yeah.
So he couldn't, right? So then we kept,
Wait, why couldn't you do it at birth?
because he was really fat.
Oh my
His fat pad was, I mean, let's not get into all these little technical things, but yeah, it was technical, whatever, medical things, but we couldn't get it done. Long story short, we had to get it done. The child was 3 when he was 3.
3 years old.
So
Ooh.
it was the most traumatic time of my life because obviously, like that build up ki karna hai, and then finally we were getting it done, right? And then you have to read all sorts of things that it can go wrong. They're 1 in a million chance and whatever and so on. And that 1 in a million chance happened.
What?
So
You told me.
so he was there. We had him put him down. It was done, and my hands are sweating even now when I'm remembering the whole thing. I had my very dear friend Shamaila. I told her, please come, because I don't know. I don't know how this is done. And my mother and my mother-in-law, they were just too scared. Like, when you're like, we can't even, like, just now tum bata rahi thi abhi, Aiden ko even vaccination यहाँ लगाना है, we have to put him down,
Oh
and
my
he
God.
screams, whatever, बच्चे की पेन देखी नहीं जाती, सुनी नहीं जाती. So having to put my poor son down, and having to go through this ordeal that he had to go through.
Do you mind sharing what it was? What
Like the
complication?
circumcision. The
No, you said there
complication
a
was
complication.
that you have to monitor the child and whatever. And I hope I don't cry.
okay.
But what he started, he bled. He bled so much
Oh.
that at like this random hour of the morning, we had to call the doctor.
Oh, you were
And
home already?
we were home. It had to be done at home. And it can't be done in the hospital.
right,
And then and we were told, if God forbid, if 1 in a million chance, hota to nahi hai. In my history, in my thousands of thousands, never happened. But if it does happen, that 1,000 chance had to happen.
Extra bleeding. Like
That
a lot
had
of
to happen. So the child was bleeding the whole. God, too many details.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I went into panic. I was screaming. I was doing everything. I thought, that's it. I'm about to lose my child.
Did you call 111? What did you do?
We had to call the doctor,
Yeah.
and then the doctor came. Again, it's long. You don't know.
No.
The timing between life and death, you don't know. Anyway, he came, and it was the 1 week of my life. I can't. And it just made me think, being a mother is not easy. Having a child, and that you out of your own body, that you actually this is love. Loving someone more and unconditionally, this is it.
Yeah.
And you cannot have it unless this is out of you, right? So this is our boys are us, right?
Yeah.
And then you realize everything, all the little things that parents do, and every year they grow and they become bigger, and the difficulties, and you remember, wow, our mothers have done so much for us, and that's the highest respect for for moms. All moms. वहाँ आती है, चाहे जैसी भी माँ हो, right? I was the youngest out of my siblings, and I was the naughtiest. I was a pain in the backside for my mother, I'm sure.
Are you still?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
I think I'm like, when you grow up and you mature and you calm down. I used to be so difficult. मैंने कोई दुनिया का accident नहीं छोड़ा जो मैंने कर दिया, ठीक है? कभी मेरी टांग टूटी होती थी, कभी मेरा बाजू टूटा था, कभी मेरा हाथ जला होता था. हाँ, so कुछ न कर. I was constantly being taken to the hospital to get some plaster done, something done. On Eid day itself, I basically blew up my hand with a firecracker that's meant to be blown in the ceiling. Or I lost all my fingers, and I was told I'd
lost all your fingers.
Yeah. But my skin, if you look closely, my skin's just, it's all burnt, my hand.
It is still burnt.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And I was told you're not going to get your hands, your nails back.
But you can't tell from
it grew for the longest time. My fingers weren't the same, but they are now. Alhamdulillah, I got them back. But I was a troublemaker. I was just a daredevil. I used to do all sorts of daredevil things, and my poor mother used to run around me and khila do isko khila do, plate banakar, whatever. She was a great combination, and she is a great combination. She's very kind and very mellow now, but she was a great combination of fierce, strict mother and loving also, right? But she was very strict. होमवर्क करने बैठते थे तो मिर्ची का बॉक्स भी साथ होता था. ये मिर्ची तो हमारी फैमिली में मिर्ची होती थी. My mother used to get a social call, and she used to move away from her, like continue, finish homework खत्म होना चाहिए, खाना खत्म होना, हाँ ये वरना. And obviously I used to take that opportunity. अम्मी की कॉल आ गई है तो मैं जरा घूम फिर के आ जाती हूँ. So I used to play with my toys and whatever. And when you come back and your homework is not done, or what exam time when कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा, दिमाग में कुछ बैठ नहीं रहा, that mirchi used to go right in my mouth.
Oh my God.
That whole spoon of red mirchi जो kitchen में होनी चाहिए वो मेरे मुंह में होती थी. So, but again, you learn, right? बाहर नहीं जाओ, इतनी time पे घर वापस आओ, ये नहीं, वो नहीं, ये नहीं. You realize when you become a mother.
Why don't you give your mom a message right now?
No, she knows
But
really,
just give her for us.
She knows I really love her. I did a commercial with my mother, by the way, for Nestle. They got in touch with me, Nestle Global, and I have a little commercial. I don't know if I have it. I'll share it here. And I love my mom, and I really respect her doing everything that she knew best of her knowledge. She was a homemaker, and she was.
She is.
She is. But she was na matlab to hum bade ho gaye, now we're doing our own thing.
That's true.
So it's just her childhood memories where she would, do so much for us. Even if she didn't know what she was doing, she did the best. And it's just beautiful because she was not, my mom wasn't working anywhere. She worked as a designer also. She did these amazing gowns before I was born and whatever. So I think that's, and her little passionate things about certain things that she loved, I think, wo
And
inheritance.
also, your mom was a beauty.
She was a beauty woman.
You said, na?
So I have high respect for all moms. Jessie being, when I see moms of one, mom of two, mom of three, and mashallah, mom of four, and so on. I just have really high respect for mothers out there who really sacrifice, because as a human you have to sacrifice what you want to do for yourself and then do it. And even these choti choti cheezon mein, Any, don't you think, like, I bought a drink for myself and I want to drink, and my son sits in the car, Mom, did you get that for me? And I'm like, it's for me. But then I'm like, yes, Aris, of course it's for you. We do.
The best thing about being a mom for me, or rather, it's made me. It's helped me to grow, because I think I was a very, I don't know, like self-involved, sort of, not necessarily selfish, but actually selfish also, and me before anything else. I was one of those people. Like, I didn't really think from other people's perspective so much. Jo mere dimag mein tha, bas wahi tha. And that's the way I ran. And having a child is what has made me, obviously, I put Aiden first. Maybe not he's not taken over my life. I mean, he has taken over my life. But what I'm trying to say is that having a child has made me think about someone else before me always. And that's a very good thing to do. I think it's a very nice thing for your ego, for your whole sort of like growth, to like always think about another person before yourself. And honestly, that is like the best gift that God has given me, because that's made me just a more interesting, I think a better person, to always be like, okay, they're first Aiden, then me, right? And you have to do that, and that's what you should do. I mean, that is the way it is, because a child is so helpless in the beginning. You need to help them.
And you'll have juggling, right? So you're like, number one, you, and then, okay, then whatever time is saved, you use it on yourself.
I think what I meant by that, like what I meant over there is that I haven't given up everything that I want to do. No, like not for, like it's not,
you end up juggling. You juggle.
But you still, like everything, your life changes completely, right? Because pehle you can easily think me, unless you're maybe in charge of, it depends on what kind of, I don't know, job or career you have. But if,
I remember you've had, can't remember when, but you had a trip and you couldn't go because of him. So there is a lot of sacrifice also. Sacrifice karne padte hain, right?
Yeah. But it's not even just that. It's just like, it's just, sure. Yeah. Sacrificing also, giving up on what
by
you
choice.
want.
By choice. Yeah.
And sure, it's also, we know that like being a mom comes with, and life comes with a lot of sacrifices, but that helps you to grow, and it makes you interesting. What do you do with that? How do you make the best of a lot of different situations? What did I want to say? I wanted to say something to Mama, actually. I don't know if I've said it to you if you're watching, but thank you so much. I feel like until I had Aiden, I did not fully appreciate at all what our mom, Mama did for us. So we're 3 girls. I'm the eldest. Similar to you, been very, very like a tough, like a tough child to handle. My mom said that once in Singapore mein, when she was pregnant with Sarah, the third sister, then our helper, she said to my mom, she said, Mom, if like Annie cannot, if like Meher can, she meant that agar the third daughter you're gonna have, agar like Annie ki tarah hogi, then Mom, I don't know, because I was mad also, like, like just daredevil and noisy and loud, and I wasn't like, I'm naughty.
Yeah.
And then we were, I was 7 when Sarah was born, so I was probably 6 when she said that. And she's like, if like Meher, because Meher was like a docile kid, easygoing, like an easy child to take care of. So she literally said, if like Annie cannot, Mom, if Meher can. So there you go. But I just want to say, Mama, thank you, because there were so many, like my dad was, working a lot, obviously, like, well, he was working a lot during certain vacations. I remember my mom took us to Disney, all three of us alone.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we were so young. Sarah was like
Huh.
2, and I'm like 2, 5, and 7 or 8. How
Wow.
did you take us to Disney World alone? Like, or maybe 9 and okay, I don't
So
know.
you're saying that Sarah was pretty, she was easy. It was
Sarah
एक ही-
was also not like me.
Okay.
Both Meher and Sarah can.
So बस सही है ना तो
No, but still, so
संभाल
that's like now
yeah.
I'm just thinking, going to Disney World alone with 3 kids. My dad wasn't there for many vacations. He was just, he was working or whatever.
Ah,
So
your
there
mom
was-
took you.
Yes.
Okay.
What did you think I said?
Dad.
Yeah. No, I said my mom took us alone for so many, like vacations, I guess, and for, like many things where now I'm like, how did you handle us and like with such elegance? And I mean, it was difficult. I remember those times. It is not easy. Like she thought she had lost me. I was constantly getting lost.
Oh
in
my
the
god!
mall.
I used to high five. मैं तो
And it's my fault also.
I actually got lost in a market and I was handed to the police station.
Oh, which country was it?
Dubai.
So you were in a safe country. Thank God. I was in Singapore.
That's the level of troublemaker I was.
Same.
Have you been in a police station ever?
Well, I don't know if I ended up at a police station, but the mall would be like Mrs. Jaffrey, your daughter is here, and I would
announcement constant. वो
Yes.
बच्चा है ना वो announcement
Yeah,
वाला.
yeah.
There's one girl in a red frock and please, when the mother, please come here.
Actually, thank God we were in Dubai and Singapore.
तौबा
है ना?
अस्तगफिरुल्लाह.
ये भी था.
ऐसे
Maybe
trouble.
that's yeah.
My child do this to me, मैं तो मर जाऊँ.
यहाँ तो oh my
Heart
God.
attack से? नहीं. I just want to say, everyone be very kind to mothers on the thought that, obviously single mother taking 3 kids on board on a
She
holiday.
wasn't single, but Baba, you weren't there
No,
for
but
a lot of the
as in,
vacations.
if the husband's traveling or something's
Exactly.
happening or the mother said, I can do it, she does it. Traveling becomes very hard also. I remember on a flight, there was a mother who was bichari stressed out and रोने वाली हो गई थी because उसके बच्चे तंग कर रहे थे. And then, they feel that heat and the stress that everyone's getting really disturbed. It's not easy for moms. So just be kind on them.
And I just want to also give a shout out to some of the moms that have that are doing it completely alone, like single moms, like hats off, like you said, hats off to you. I mean, we struggle, we have husbands, we have partners, we have help, but those ladies that are going out to work, have their kids, are doing it alone, really salute to all of you. And I mean, yeah, honestly.
But on this point, I need to give a very, very important shout out also to my mother-in-law, who has been an amazing rock. She is a proper badass. The first South Asian banker. She has been such a rock in raising Aris and being there for him and doing such amazing activities with him. Since the day of his birth till now, he spends his weekends with Dadi, Friday nights and Saturday nights.
That's how Hajra goes out till 4 a.m. when she comes and takes all that makeup off with her 18 steps. You said na in that
तुमने
episode?
मेरे Mother's Day की speech
Sorry.
करनी है ना तुमने? Yes.
But you got actually upset.
No. Yes, ये वही आंटी हैं जो 4 बजे तक मेरी outing बर्दाश्त कर सकती हैं, लेकिन उनको पता नहीं होता. But yes, I would like to give her a shout out. She's done so many things that have developed Aris in the boy he is. All these amazing mannerisms Aris has. She's really been a rock. She's a great, great mother. And my mother-in-law has gone over and beyond a grandparent duties. Yeah, so she does a lot. And, she always says it. In fact, when she was born is the day she gave the resignation for her job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she just wanted to be a grandmother. And that's a big deal. So she always puts him number one. And it's very, very special.
That's
so
amazing.
A great shout out to her also.
Yeah, because you've also allowed us to have Hajra a lot. I mean, I think she's the reason that she's freed up.
Yeah,
she's given
she does.
you a lot of
They
freedoms.
do. Family, if they're there, if they're not there, it makes a huge difference to your life. And any more shout out you want to give?
I mean, I think I gave a shout out to my mom. I'll give a shout out to my mom-in-law too, actually. Just a very quick one that Auntie definitely, I mee, she raised like Faris and mine, like they have the most beautiful relationship. She's so patient. She just has all the patience of the world. And I think that's something that I'm always working on, to be more patient and not quick, her cheese, aise. She's so elegant. There's a lot that I can learn from Auntie, and the way she is with Aiden also. When Aiden is there, in a similar way, she will, like nothing is there. It's just Aiden. So you're a rock star too.
Great. On that Mother's Day wrap up, give flowers to your moms, give them loads of love, spend some time with them, not just on Mother's Day.
Yeah, every
Beyond
day.
every
It's the
day.
most thankless job on the planet a lot of the time. We know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to all the moms. We love you.
We love you.